that was before I knew anything about it. Now that I see how they've rolled it out, honestly, I'm probably a little disappointed about it. Where am I at tonight? Just got checked into Sand 5, sitting here waiting for the trailer to get ready. Out here under the lights of Donovan State Prison. Kind of doing trying to snipe these short little loads lately. Been an interesting week for me. You know, I'm gonna start this one out with some sad news. Lost my dad this last week. He fought a good fight right up until the end, but he passed away on Monday, and it just been a weird week. Been a weird week for all of us. You know, family's doing well. I am excited. That's the wrong word. I am at peace knowing that his pain and suffering is over. It's been a you know, wild ride throughout this whole thing. He did beat cancer. What ended up taking him was the side effects from all the treatment. It was one thing, you know, if you've been with me for a little bit, you know, I used to be a pharmacist. Learning about these side effects, their probabilities, how to treat them, that's one thing. Seeing somebody you love so much go through it is something totally different. So it just... that was that. You know, it was, I'm drawing my strength from just knowing that his pain and suffering is over, but he fought a good fight. I've never been more proud to be his son than I am now, and just going through some stuff. So since that happened, you know, normally I like coming on here, trying to show you these big nights I put together. What I've been doing for this last week is just kind of sniping these quick little runs of, you know, okay, I could go put in a 16-hour day, maybe put up some big numbers, especially this time of the year. But the fact of the matter is I just haven't felt like doing these big days. And so I'm kind of doing what I'm doing tonight of, you know, if they have like a quick little run to a third-party site where I can go out and run the truck for 2-3 hours, make, you know, $500-600, I'm all in. That's kind of what I'm doing tonight. I'm doing a quick little, they posted a little quickie going from Sand 5 up to DSD 4. They didn't want to pay for the round trip, but then they ended up posting a separate load that ended up turning this into a round trip, and that's what I'm doing tonight. So kind of essentially getting paid a lot more to do the round trip. If they had posted it as a round trip, I think it would have been probably about $350, and I would have done it for that. But as it ended up working out, it's going to be, I'm doing 2 separate one-way trips for pretty close to like $500. So excited about that. I don't know if I'm going to stay out all night too. This is a time in my week where my wife is working. She's working early this week, so I need to be at home at like 5:10 to get the kids up and get them ready and take them to school. But I did want to use this load as an example. It's been on my mind lately. I hear from a lot of people who sometimes are late or delayed getting to that second load, and I think it's worth reiterating. If you book 2 separate loads, and let's say the first one makes me late, I think the first one that I'm doing chalked out to like 11:59, and the second one I'm due there was an adjustable pickup time. I made the pickup time be 12:30. Let's say if I'm held up down here and I don't get to DSD 4 until after 12:30, well, they'll give me grace on this first load because that's an Amazon created thing. But because I didn't leave a big enough gap in between those 2 loads, even though you could make the argument of like, oh hey, it was Amazon's fault that you were late to that second spot, you can't count it that way. So you just got to be aware when you're booking these loads. It's something I looked at earlier today, is like, you know, if I'm due there at 11:59, I know for sure, even if they delayed me here a little bit, I'm pretty confident I can make it. I'll be there by 12:30 for sure. So you just got to keep that in mind. I hear from a lot of people who are saying like, oh, you know, I booked these 2 loads. I left a big enough window, I thought, between the 2 of them, but then I was delayed and I was late to the second one. You got to be aware that second one, they will hold that against you, and you can no longer use, hey, a prior Amazon stop made me late to a subsequent Amazon stop. So I know I've mentioned it before. I hate to beat a dead horse, but it's just one of those things that's worth mentioning, that if you do get delayed to that second spot, even if it's an Amazon created problem, they will use that and hold that against your performance score. Just got up here to DSD 4, not gonna lie, I was down at Sand 5, kind of thinking the direction of this video was gonna change into like, hey, I got another load from hell. I'm not due for one yet. I get about one of those a month, but I thought, man, this is absolutely gonna turn into a load from hell. Had an 11:15 departure time, 11 o'clock rolls around, they're not telling me it's ready. Finally 11:15 hits, and I go find one of the hostlers I've seen down there before when I've done the Amazon hostlers. Somebody I knew from doing the hostler gig, and I went up to him, I'm like, hey, can you check, this is the last, you know, here's my V-Rig, can you check on this? And they're like, oh yeah, they haven't even started loading it yet. And it's like, damn it. And so I requested a call back from ROC, and I'm like, it's past my departure time. And, you know, exactly what I was talking about in the first part of this video of, like, you know, if you start threading those needles and book these loads too close, immediately I'm like, oh my God, they're going to ask me to wait to leave when this one's ready. I'm going to be delayed, and I'm not going to get to that second spot till 12:30. I was pretty straightforward with the ROC person. I'm like, look, it's after my departure time. I need you to cancel it. I kind of don't like to leave room for any doubt in this kind of stuff. And I'm like, yep, it's after my departure time. I need you to cancel it. They're like, oh, yep, go ahead. You're free to leave the thing. The problem there is on the way up here to DSD4, the load still was active in my trips. And so I requested another callback from ROC when I could, and I'm like, hey, I need you to clear. I've been given permission for this to be taken out of my queue. I need this to be cleared from, or I've been given permission to leave the site. I need these to be cleared from the queue so I can start the next work. Because remember, I'm due up here at 12:30. As they went ahead and cleared it from my queue, but I'll show you what I'm looking at. I took a screenshot of it in case it's changed since then. But let me go in here to my trips. I don't see this all the time. Somebody needs a... So right here, if you look at my in-transit trips, here's the load, the SAN 5 to DSD4. It's telling me to accept. The reason I'm not is the ROC agent specifically said, I'm going to retender it to you. Don't accept it. It's going to show up, and it should show up as like $175 TONU. But as you can see, I have 2 trips in my active trips queue right now. One of them is that retendered trip that I'm not going to accept, and then the other one is the one that I'm on now, which I thought would be making up as like a round trip, but since they canceled the first one, I ended up having to come up here anyway. But anyway, that's where it stands. I'm so glad I'm not, you know, the only thing I'm waiting for now is for this retendered trip to go to my history trip and show up as $175 TONU. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Heading back down to SAN 3 to drop off this empty now. All right. Got back down here from DSD4, was due here at 1:56. I'm rolling in the gate at 12:49, so feeling good about that. I was a little bit anxious last time I checked in with you. I was, you know, I never like it when these things, when any little thing starts to go sideways, especially, you know, the app or the load staying in my app, not being able to start the next app, especially when I started this whole thing out. I've got to watch out for that. How foolish would I be if I go out and I do that? So, you know, it just feeling a lot better. On the way down here, they dropped a little SAN 5 heading up to DSD1. That's what I'm doing next. It had an adjustable pickup time on there. I changed it to 2, so I'm not at all worried about that. I got an hour and 10 minutes to check in here, drop off this trailer, go the 0.6 miles over to SAN 5 and start that next load. I'm just out here waiting in a long line of trucks, getting ready to move up a little bit. One thing the purpose of tonight, what I wanted to talk about, I've been having a lot of people ask me about these new Amazon rewards, because I know they're starting to do rewards, and I've had a few people reach out to me saying like, hey, we know you got that grade up there near perfect. What reward level are you at? And, you know, I said I would touch on this. The thing about the rewards, so when they rolled them out, one of the factors was they were going to start looking at like mileage, and I thought that, like, man, that's going to be great, because, you know, I mean, I thought that, you know, it would add a little bit more to it, because as it is, I see the reward currently with Amazon doing these little short trips, and I felt like they've never really given an adequate reward to people who run these long miles for them, which, you know, obviously, I mean, that's going to be a part of trucking. That was before I knew anything about it. Now that I see how they've rolled it out, honestly, I'm probably a little disappointed about it, and not that, I mean, yeah, maybe you like it, maybe you don't. They as a one guy, one truck operation, for me to get any sort of the high level rewards, I think I need to be running like 6,000 miles a month for them, which I'm never gonna do. I mean, when I look back at like my average month for Amazon, I'm doing nights like this for them somewhere between 3, 4, maybe 5 nights a week. I mean, tonight, I think if you look at my loaded miles for them, it's definitely coming in less than like 100 miles. The chances of me ever hitting that, you know, 6,000, I think it's either 5 or 6,000. I'll have it come up on the screen, but the chances of me ever hitting that and ever getting into those platinum level rewards, I think is slim to none. But, you know, and then when I look at the rewards, it's like really the only one that is on there that I'm really interested in is, I think they have that preferred, or what would you call it, like an increased response time for like disputes and stuff like that. That's really the only thing that they're offering in there. I mean, I know that they're offering like Amazon swag and all that. I don't really care about stuff like that, but that that accelerated looking at your disputes, you know, performance disputes, payment disputes, that interests the hell out of me. But to be honest, if I've got to be doing 5,000-6,000 miles a month, I think I'm always going to be sitting down in like the basic or the bronze status, which I'm okay. I mean, I'll keep the grade high, but I may not get those rewards. But gonna drop this trailer off here at Sand 3. As more rolls out on those rewards, I'm sure I'll have more to add to it. But as far as like right now, I kind of realize I'm never gonna run enough miles for them to get to that level. So more to come on that for now. Gonna drop this trailer off. I'll check in with you as the night goes on. Shutting this one down at the SC Fuels. Kind of glad I got to salvage my night a little bit. Wasn't looking to stay out all night, but that last little trip up to DSD1 is gonna put me pointing in the right direction. I'm gonna get back to doing these longer nights. I just not quite up to it yet, but I promise you we're gonna do some longer nights. Not a bad use of my time. I mean, basically they canceled that first leg. I think I drove for Amazon last night for like less than 2 hours, so I mean, I'll take it. What I got coming up in the future, I mean, for sure gonna get back to these longer nights. And I am gonna touch on, I've had a lot of people ask me to do a video on like asset verification. I haven't done it yet because they haven't asked me to do it yet. They're rolling this thing out in waves, so definitely look for a video from me coming out on that soon. I'm kind of waiting until they ask me to do it, but until then I would just be guessing and coming up with conspiracies of my own. So when they ask me to do it, I'll get around to doing it. But as always, appreciate you taking the trip with me. Hope this video serves you well. Take care.